So Josephine, based on that, would my books be a list or a set?
It would be a set.
Right, it could be a set. I just care about the books I read, and I might be interested whether a particular book is in that set, whether the books I read that summer might intersect with your books. I could think about set intersection. If it's not empty, there's a book we read that's in common. But you bring up an interesting point earlier. Suppose I do care about the order in which I completed the books. So Casey, would that be a list or a set?
That'd be a list.
It'd be a list. Even though there's probably no duplicates, unless I liked a book so much I read it twice, that book would just appear once perhaps in the list, but the order becomes important, so it becomes a list, exactly. Josephine, do you have an example you'd like us to talk about?
How about the toppings on a pizza, maybe?
Okay, so we all like pizza, and we care about the toppings on the pizza. So what do you think? Should that be a list or a set?
That's probably a set, since, well, yeah, you can't really have duplicates unless you're talking about, say, double cheese. And you don't really care about the order in which the ingredients are put on the pizza.
Great, so pizza toppings could certainly be a set. And we could ask, what's the size of that set? And maybe the size of that set indicates the cost of the pizza. More toppings, more price, right? Casey, how about you?
What about a playlist of songs?
Okay, so the list of songs, great. In fact, it has the word list in it already. It's
Yeah.
probably a list, right?
Well, unless you're on shuffle, then I guess
Okay.
it's a set. But yeah, I guess.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. If you had a list of songs and it were shuffled, inside your device that's playing the songs, it still has an order in mind for the order
That's
in which
true.
it's going to play it, right? So it's still technically really a list. You might think, well, they're duplicates because I hear the same song more than once, but effectively it's adding something to the end of the list each time, right? Any other examples? How about a deck of
A
cards?
deck of cards,
Yeah, a deck
yes.
of cards. So what about a deck of cards? Is that a list or a set?
I guess that would be a list if you're talking about the order, but it's a set because you can't have duplicates if you're talking about like the different suits of cards.
Great. So if I had a deck and I wanted to know, is it complete? It ought to have 52 items in it. And certainly there wouldn't be any duplicates in thinking of it as a set. If I'm dealing the cards, so the first card goes to you, the second card goes to you, and so on, in that case, would it still be a set or should it be a list?